So this deep dive is brought to you by Alessandro Palace, a hostel and bar especially for their guests. And today's title is The Heart of Rome's Secrets: The Illusion Square, the Doomsday Owl, and the Tragic Fate of the Dog that Didn't Bark.
Quite the lineup today.
Right. So if you are walking through Rome right now, maybe digesting some incredible gelato or a slice of pizza, take a look around.
Because you are standing in a city that genuinely believes it will trigger the literal apocalypse if they polish a certain bronze statue too well.
Wait, really? The apocalypse?
Oh, yeah, totally. Which is, exactly the kind of wild historical paradox we're unpacking today. We are guiding you through the Capitoline Hill, or the Campidoglio.
This is smallest of Rome's 7 hills,
Right, it is, yeah. But historically, it was the Caput Mundi, the head of the world. And our goal today is to, well, look past the standard tourist views and uncover how this specific space actively manipulates your perception.
Let's start with the physical climb. I mean, if you're walking up those wide Coordinata stairs right now, you'll probably notice you aren't really out of breath.
Exactly, because the steps are oddly proportioned. They are only 9 centimeters high, but they stretch like 34 centimeters deep.
That is Michelangelo's engineering at work, right?
Yeah, he designed that exact shallow incline so popes and aristocrats could ride their horses and donkeys all the way to the top.
Oh, wow. So they wouldn't have to sacrifice their dignity by actually dismounting.
Precisely.
So long before modern building codes, Michelangelo is basically building a Renaissance accessibility ramp.
Basically, yes. And once you reach the top, the Piazza del Campidoglio feels vast and symmetrical, but that is a deliberate optical trick.
Because your brain expects a grand public square to be a perfect rectangle.
Right. But Michelangelo built a trapezoid. The buildings actually widen toward the back. By using those diverging lines, he physically counters the natural vanishing point of your eye.
That is genius.
Right, and if you throw in that intricate star-patterned floor, your brain is just tricked into perceiving the space as far grander than its actual physical footprint.
It is basically a 16th century Instagram filter built out of stone, tricking the eye to hide the physical limitations of the hill.
I love that analogy. And that theme of visual deception anchors the whole square. Like, take the massive equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius right in the center.
Right, because almost all ancient bronze statues were melted down in the Middle Ages for cannons or coins.
Yeah, but this one only survived because the medieval Romans fell for a massive case of mistaken identity. They looked at it and just assumed it was Constantine.
The first Christian emperor.
Exactly. So an illusion of identity literally saved it from the furnace.
But the statue itself carries an incredibly dark myth, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look between the horse's ears, there is a tuft of mane shaped like an owl.
The civetta, yes. See, the original bronze used to be covered in brilliant gold leaf, and the myth states that if that gold plating ever naturally regenerates to cover the statue completely...
Which sounds terrifying on its own.
Right. If it regenerates, the bronze owl will sing, Rome will fall, and the world will end.
Wait, let's unpack this. So keeping an ancient masterpiece dirty is basically a civic duty to stave off the end of days.
Pretty much. I mean, while the one sitting outside today is a replica, historically there was genuine superstition about making the original look too pristine.
I imagine nobody was rushing out with a polishing cloth.
Definitely not.
Well, we've been talking about illusions and myths, but the actual physical reality of this hill was incredibly brutal.
Oh, absolutely. Michelangelo used perspective to hide the physical flaws of the hill, which is fitting. Because for centuries, the Romans used this exact same hill to hide their most shameful traitors.
At the Tarpeian Rock.
Yes, a 24-meter sheer drop at the edge of the hill used for executions. It's named after Tarpeia.
She was the Vestal Virgin who sold out Rome to the invading Sabines, right?
That's the one. She opened the city gates in exchange for what the Sabines wore on their left arms.
Meaning their heavy gold bracelets.
Exactly. But an invading army wasn't exactly keen on paying out gold jewelry to a traitor.
I'm guessing they weren't thrilled with her.
They were disgusted, so instead of gold, they threw the other heavy items they carried on their left arms at her.
Their shields.
Yep, their shields. She was crushed, then thrown off the cliff, establishing the rock as the ultimate site for punishing betrayal.
God, that is brutal. And it wasn't just humans facing that kind of Roman justice either.
No, the story of the Gaul attack in 390 BC is totally wild.
Right, the city's guard dogs completely slept through a night ambush.
But the sacred geese kept at the Temple of Juno heard the invaders, honked wildly, and actually saved the city.
Good geese.
Right. But to the Romans, this wasn't just a lucky coincidence. It demanded religious and collective retribution.
So for centuries, they held an annual festival called the Simplicianum, right?
Yeah. They literally paraded the descendants of the geese through the streets on purple and gold
Oh,
cushions.
wow. VIP treatment for the birds.
Oh, totally. But meanwhile, to punish the descendants of those lazy guard dogs, they actually crucified living dogs on trees as a public warning.
Wait, they punished the descendants for the sins of their ancestors. That is so intense.
It really is. It just shows how deeply the Romans tied animal behavior to religious duty and collective guilt.
Wow. So when you walk these stones today, you are tracing the literal footsteps of figures like Cicero.
Exactly. You are standing in a space that forces you to confront architectural brilliance, sacred sanctuary, and, well, brutal collective memory all at once.
You are basically in the spiritual and mental center of the eternal city.
Beautifully said.
And it leaves you with this to chew on. If an ancient public square was meticulously designed to manipulate human perspective and enforce cultural memory so intensely, what do the modern public spaces we build today say about our own society's values?
Definitely something to ponder as you keep walking. For now, we highly recommend you head back to the Alessandro Palace Bar to grab a drink and, discuss these wild historical sites with your fellow travelers.
This episode was brought to you by Alessandro Palace, a hostel and bar in Rome.